You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I am sick and tired of. And one other thing on the subject of pressure to abandon your friends, which it's never going to happen. Okay, just stop. Nobody should be leaning on me to abandon my friendship with Tucker, to not platform Tucker. And it's not just Tucker. I get this about Glenn Greenwald too. It's just stop. That's not ever going to happen. I don't believe their ideas are so vile that they cannot be platformed here. I'm interested in what they have to say. I may disagree with them. That's fine. They're my friends. I'm very interested in their opinions, and I always find them respectfully expressed. I mean, Glenn has a lot of really, ways of conflict that I don't get to hear that often since I am such a supporter, and I would like to open my mind to what the side that's more critical is saying. And Tucker has a totally different, angle on the story, which I also find interesting. I may agree with it, I may not, but I don't get this, shut down your ears, do not listen, treat them like a pariah. That's crazy talk to me. And I happen to know that Charlie felt exactly the same. And the reason I happen to know it is because he said it on camera not long before he was at one of his events where he was asked about his dear friend Candace Owens.
Yes, you might be wondering what Charlie said on this video. Charlie said, no matter what, there are a lot of things Candace says, and he disagreed with her. His friendship with her can't stop. That is what liberals do. If they disagree with you politically, you can coexist with them. Now going into something more concerning, this lady posted this. Candace Owens has finally lost whatever was left of her brain. She is now accusing Turning Point of taking away Charlie's life. Get this woman a straitjacket. This is not the only person. There are a lot of people putting out videos about Candace Owens on social media.
At me is the fact that Turning Point will not release the footage, okay? I don't understand it. Every excuse that I have been handed for why they won't release it makes no sense to me. If you are under pressure, if people are starting to look at you funny as an organization, if they're thinking that, whether rightfully or wrongfully, if they are suspecting because they see this footage of someone quickly remove the SD cards, that you guys had something to do with the assassination of Charlie, and you quite literally have footage that in theory should vindicate yourself, why wouldn't you release it? Think about that. It's just in your own capacity. If somebody is saying you are guilty of anything, if they're like, Candace, you are absolutely guilty of breaking into my car, and I'm like, I have a camera right here that shows that I did not break into your car. Would it make sense if I was like, but I'm not going to release that? I'm not going to release that because it's not right. It's not right for me to release. What? It makes no sense. I don't understand why they would not release this. The idea that it's because, well, the feds are saying the feds cannot arrest you. Last I checked, the feds cannot bring charges against you for releasing footage that you own. And since when do we trust the feds? Certainly Charlie didn't. He didn't believe we were getting the truth of files and things of that nature. So I don't accept that.
Yes, I see a lot of people on social media saying Candace Owens is exploiting a strategy and a grieving family for political is college. Even if she is a widow, not a prop for your agenda, have some basic human decency. This was a post someone put out about Candace Owens. I believe you've seen what Megyn Kelly said here. A lot of people want that because you disagree with someone politically, you should not platform them. That has been an issue.
Before he lost his life, Charlie surprised the company by announcing that he was putting together a DOGE department. Yes, a Department of Government Efficiency like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy had set out to do. Trump won. They got behind him, right? They said, hey, there's a lot of pork. We don't know where this money is going. People are just accepting checks. Again, this is the whole purpose of the Department of DOGE. You put us in there and we're going to figure out how all these bureaucrats are just wasting tax dollars. Really kind of a nice way of saying we're going to conduct an audit of the government, right? That's the only way to look at what DOGE was. It's an audit, and then you cut the fat and you see where the money's actually going. Don't listen to me, by the way, because we can read Charlie in his own words, this was a internal memo that went out, signed off by Charlie on September 2nd. I'm going to skip to the relevant portions. He's first and foremost announcing that Dear Team America, effective immediately, again, September 2nd, Justin Strife is taking on a new elevated role with Turning Point USA as its COO. Since joining TPUSA in 2020, Justin has led Turning Point's fundraising division and in more recent years has been involved in some organizational operations, filling the COO role in many ways, but now officially taking on the title and expanded responsibilities. Now we're going to jump to that last big paragraph. He writes, in this role, I have empowered Justin, among other priorities, to engage in an organizational-wide DOGE effort. Justin will be assembling a small team to assist in this effort, which is focused on Turning Point USA, 1, becoming more efficient, 2, becoming more cost-effective, 3, unifying organizational success around company-wide metrics and goals, and 4, reshaping company culture. I expect many positive changes to come.
Yes, when you take a look at what Candace Owens is doing here, at a certain point, when I look at it, I question a lot of things. This is going to about 3 weeks since this strategy. It is high time she should maybe go into other topics. That is according to what I see on social media. People believe what Candace Owens is doing here is exploiting this strategy for likes, and it's gullish for her to do this. Sometimes I just want to see people express themselves. According to Candace Owens, the truth is not out. Whatever thing they are putting out there is not okay. She want to dig dive. Some says what she pretends like, oh, she's doing research, she want to bring evidence. That there is nothing like that. She's only doing this for this money. She's cashing out. I've seen all kind of things people posting about her. At a certain point, I was not reacting anything linking to Candace Owens. But when I started seeing this happening every single time, I started questioning, like, why should I stay? There are a lot of things Candace Owens says that I don't agree with, but I still believe I can still express myself on something she says. There are things that she does sometimes I agree with, but looking at what is going on right now, I believe she should stop. Yeah. Allow this woman to mourn. She will recover and maybe do further research to actually see what is going on.
We really tried to discern properly how to go about the next few stages and steps of everything. And we've been very intentional in a way that always keeps Charlie first and his dreams alive and his legacy going. And what's so beautiful is to see all of you step in and do that. And so part of the reason why I agreed to come on, because this is not going to be a forever thing of me being on hosting the show, was because I gave assurance to people that Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is.
I think I'll end here. I want to appreciate people sharing out the videos. As of the short clips, please, you can't skip. That is for the YT algorithm.
To former President Obama.
Is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's some drama, or at the very least, some tea in and ready for Joy, Sunny, Anna, and Whoopi to give their perspectives on what happened to Jimmy. And guess what? They said nothing.
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not
4 days away